Want to know the secret to making this fall's hottest trend, applique, without a sewing machine and for a fraction of the cost? I'm going to show you how to DIY this project using my Cricut Explore 4 and my EasyPress 3. This is such a simple project and you can make it for under $5. A big thanks to Cricut for sponsoring today's video. Applique is everywhere right now and big brands are selling sweatshirts, totes, and even denim with these patchwork style designs. But instead of paying $80 for just one piece, you can make your own with fabric scraps and your Cricut tools at home. Applique is basically the process of taking your fabric and attaching it to another piece of fabric, like this t-shirt, and creating a design. You could almost think of it like taking your fabric and turning it into a cute little sticker that's designed just for your clothing. And here's the best part. I did a ton of testing to find out which techniques and tools work the very best so you can make your own foolproof designs without any of the hassle. But what's really great about this specific technique is that you don't need a rotary blade and you can use almost any Cricut machine to create this design. This technique works with almost all of the Cricut machines, and all you'll need is a standard grip mat, a fine point blade, and a Cricut. Here's what you'll need. A Cricut machine, Maker, Explore, or even Joy. Cricut EasyPress like the EasyPress 3 or even the Mini. The Cricut Heat app, fabric scraps, no-sew adhesive sheets such as Heat & Bond Ultra Hold Iron-On adhesive, a Cricut standard grip mat, a Cricut fine point blade or rotary blade if you're using the Maker. Step 1, create your design in Cricut Design Space. I'm going to start in Cricut Design Space, which has over 1 million images that you can choose from. Now you can search by keyword, which is going to make this process so much easier. For your project, think of those trending items. So I'm thinking bows, varsity letters, fruits, or stars, any of those cute types of cutouts. Select the image and resize it to fit your project. For a sweatshirt, a chest patch that is about 4 to 6 inches across is going to work really nicely. For a tote, you might want to go a little bit bigger, or you could even layer multiple shapes together. Once your design is ready, I want you to click Make It and choose your mat size, and then we're going to get ready to cut. Step 2, prep your fabric. Now, before we start cutting, we need to bond our fabric, and this is really important. What this means is that we're adding an adhesive to the back of the fabric so that that fine point blade can cut it really nice and clean. If we do this, then we don't have to worry about any fraying later on. The paper backing makes that fabric more rigid, and that's going to allow you to easily cut it out on a Cricut with a normal fine point blade without having any issues. Now here's exactly how you're going to bond your adhesive. Cut a piece of Heat & Bond. I'm using Ultra Hold, which is ideal for a no-sew project. I'm going to cut it just slightly smaller than my fabric scrap. That way the adhesive isn't going to melt onto your surface. I want you to place it rough side down onto the back of your fabric. If you're using cotton fabric, it usually calls for around 315 and pressed for just a few seconds. If you're new to using a Cricut EasyPress, be sure to check out the Cricut Heat app. They are both such helpful resources to help you achieve the ideal results. If you'd like, you can use a piece of freezer paper or parchment paper on top, just so you can protect your EasyPress from any sticky residue. Once it cools, you will want to leave that paper backing intact. I know it's tempting to rip it off, but leave it there for the next step. Step 3, cutting with Cricut. Now let's go ahead and move on to finally cutting our fabric. Place your fabric right side up on your standard grip mat. You can use a brayer to smooth it down completely, and that's going to help prevent any shifting on your mat during the cut. You will want to load a fine point blade into your Cricut machine that's brand new. In Design Space, I want you to select Cotton, Bonded, and then go ahead and change that setting to more pressure. This is going to make sure it cuts through cleanly, and it's going to cut all the way through the fabric as well as that adhesive backing. Next, let's press go, and this will let the machine start working its magic. Now, this is really where the Cricut shines because it is going to cut these so precisely and so perfectly. And it would be so hard to cut any of these shapes out by hand. Step 4, apply the applique. Once the cut has finished, I like to do a little double check, and I take the corner and I peel it away just to make sure that our cut has gone all the way through. You can do this before you unload the mat, and if it didn't cut all the way through, you can always send it back through for an additional cut. Now you can go ahead and unload that mat and carefully peel up your applique design. Don't worry too much if that paper backing comes off, since we're going to be needing to remove it anyways. Go ahead and position it exactly where you want it on your shirt, your tote, or even your fabric project. I like to use my negative design almost as a guide or template to make sure that my alignment is good, especially if I'm creating a project where I have multiple images or letters and everything needs to be lined up. Now open the Cricut Heat app again, and it's going to tell you the exact temperature and pressing time for your material combination. For example, cotton bonded applique onto a sweatshirt might need around 315 degrees for 30 seconds. Place your EasyPress on top, apply firm pressure, and press. You will want to refer to the adhesives instructions for the exact amount of time. Then flip your project over and you can press it again from the back for a few seconds just to make sure that it's fully adhered. Let it cool, and that's it. Now you have a totally custom applique that looks boutique bought, but it costs only a few dollars to make. Extra tips and inspiration. You can also layer your fabrics. Just remember to do one layer at a time. And if you happen to like that distressed look, you can try using denim or linen and just leaving those edges raw, and they will naturally fringe after a wash. And if you're really into hand stitching, you could also finish the edges with decorative stitches like a blanket stitch, or you could even add some embroidery accents to add a little bit of texture. And that's how easy it is to create a DIY applique with Cricut. Be sure to check out the link in the description to purchase your own Cricut EasyPress. And if you're ready for more Cricut tutorials, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss my next tutorial.